is what local government relies heavily upon for its existence here in Victoria is the Local Government Act 1989. Now, like I said earlier, we must read the Acts Interpretation Act along with the Constitution and the Judiciary Act along with the Constitution. And as I've pointed out here, Section 15A of the Acts Interpretation Act states every act shall be read and construed subject to the Constitution. Okay. How does this exist? It doesn't. It's void. Okay.
Someone is through that they take me to court in 5 days' time.
Yeah, but the thing is, we need to point out in our defence, first and foremost, that we are subjects as defined in the Commonwealth Constitution. We are not citizens.
We're subjects.
We are subjects. You are in a different jurisdiction when you are referred to as a citizen. The 1947-48 Australian Citizenship Act is void because it demands a referendum before that act is imposed on we the people. And that referendum would ask the government to amend the Constitution with regard to the word subject in our Constitution, replacing it with citizen. This has not taken place. Okay? It's important. We are a subject as defined in the Constitution.
Well, that letter that it's fresh, it came yesterday to me, it quotes that book you got, the big one.
Yeah.
And it says we're going to take it to court.
Yeah, okay, but section 111 of this says that this or any law that's brought out via this cannot be inconsistent with any other act.
Any act.
Any other act. Any act.
Any act.
That's got to be a new state. That's what they would have to provide for a new state in Section 111, because what they're doing there with that local government act, they would have to create a new state. That's what they're trying to do.
Yeah, they haven't. Yeah. They have. There's a due process that must take place to bring about legislation like this. It is wanting of that. It has failed that. Historically, the government have stepped very carefully up to a referendum and then made a big mistake when it comes to putting the question to we the people. And we have instinctively stood back in the safety zone and knocked them back. And we will continue to do so, pray, hope, in the future with respect to any amendments to our Constitution, unless that question is very clear and concise. We demand transparency.
Where are there the checks and balances that this actually is possible to happen with the doctor that patient will be there?
Well, your checks and balances are bled right through these three books. Okay, the Section 128 and Section 123 clearly states where there's any change to any part of the Constitution, it needs our approval. And it has to go to the Governor-General.
So how come they ignore that?
Because they've created another foundation, and that's the Australia Act 1986. In 1931, they brought out the Westminster Act 1931. I think Section 2 of that Act, they were trying to step away from their obligation under the laws of England. But they did start to claim sovereignty within the Parliament at that point. Very dangerous. One of the main reasons federation was brought about was to guard against sovereign parliaments. Okay? Constitutional parliaments, which is what they are in this country, are restricted as to what they can legislate. Okay, this binds these entities within our government to those three books very strictly, and it's been brought to the attention of different law reform commissions over the past 100 years whenever government want to overstep their constitutional boundaries, and they've been pushed straight back. But in 1986 they said, well, we've had enough, we're just going to throw it all out.
Why weren't they charged for treason?
Because we have lost our lawyers.
Well, if we were smart enough to vote 68% like what you said, why couldn't the 68% say, righto, that's treason and punish him?
But
I mean, they must have known something.
the average punter out there wouldn't know the Constitution if he fell over it.
that's what
And this is the problem. And the lawyers out there have got blinkers that have popped on their heads as soon as they get their degree, and they're steered to exactly where they have studied to go. And when it comes to the Constitution, well, too hard basket, go and see a constitutional lawyer about it. Okay, we've been under the rule of lawyers for too long. And it's up to us, we the people, the ones who have the ultimate authority in this country, to wake up and start exercising our constitutional rights and our duty. Now, there has been a spanner thrown in our works with respect to the privatisation, because now we're dealing with a corporate government, which is part and parcel of what the Australia Act was all about, the allowance of that. Corporatised governments means now we're dealing with a shop. So we deal with them as we deal with a shop. But this is a rather unique shop. And as we've seen, like today on the news, the state government having sold off a public utility, being our public transport, then turning around and imposing a fine against that public transport body for a line that fell down. Well, where's the criminal action?
None.
Okay.
Where's your contract?
No. No contract can be drafted outside of these three books, Constitution. No contract can be drafted outside. Right? So therefore, again, where's the mens rea? Where's the criminal intent by Metro? There isn't. How can a government body place a fine without a conviction? Okay? Section 12 of our Bill of Rights says that all grants and promises of fines and forfeitures to all persons before conviction is illegal and void. Okay? So why is Metro putting up with this?
Yeah.
Why are we putting up with this? It's ridiculous.
Wouldn't that mean that you could not apply any penalty under a contract?
Absolutely. There can be only a threat of a penalty and a court action. There can only be a summons into a court, and then habeas corpus kicks in, which comes out of your imperial acts, and then it must be put before your peers. And this is where our judiciary is stepping out of the realm of its definition under the Constitution, which is Chapter 3. Chapter 3 defines judiciary, okay?
This is the letter I received. They're taking it to court.
Yeah. Now, under section...
1.6.
No.